Just wait for YouTube to catch up, or at least what is showing us the stream as always. So me starting with the cute catchphrase is not going to be a thing, but it looks like we are about to start. Stream health is showing us green. As soon as it says live, I'll begin. Alright, so this is Duke Marine, bring you the suggested guide for Japanese literacy course series on Memorize. Currently going to be working on presenting course number 3, which is Remembering the Kanji Optimized, which is presenting the 555 kanji from Book 1 of 2001.kanji.odyssey in RTK order. If you've been enjoying this series, don't forget to if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. If you find that you've been watching these videos, a number of times, then hey, consider subscribing. And again, if you found this useful and you think it could be useful for other people who are beginning to learn Japanese, recommend or forward it on any, or share it on any type of social media with persons that'll find it useful. Now, the last couple of days, I think I skipped the last couple of days as far as streaming was concerned. As I had said, I was going to go on travel, so I went around about the Chiba area. So in the Awakamagawa area, or city called Awakamagawa, which is near the SeaWorld in Japan. And it took about a 40-minute ferry ride from there, from the train station there, about an hour and a half. And spent a couple of days there. What I was probably going to do was, what I might be doing is bring up my other computer and actually, just for fun, do one stream where I'm just showing off my virtual reality and what I could do if I wanted to, work with Japanese in virtual reality. Which, again, virtual reality is not where it needs to be right now for me to be teaching from there, but could be at least fun to show what you can do, at least at that level. Alright, so during that time I was catching up on my reviews. So right now you can see I'm down to, well, these two just popped back up, but I was, so 80 for my vocabulary, and then about 140 for the last course I did, which is Zettai Kadeshi. Yeah, and I need to get those, again, all the way back down to 0. But did about 300 or so today. Just decided to now just do a stream, get either a 1 or 2 of the course 3s done. Which again, that's my plan. Is okay, hey, go through, get the rest of the courses done, get the rest of course 3 done, and then go normally. Then when I get to Tai Chem, what I might do, same as I did with RTK, was do the SGJL 04 for Tai Chem while I'm also doing course 9 for Tai Chem. And if I feel the mood, like, okay, yeah, okay, I can do this, and what I'll do is just go completely, just do quite a few numbers for Tai Chem. Get those courses done, which is probably going to be reading the chapter out loud, and then going and looking at the example sentences in the in Memorize, and just going back and forth. That's probably how I'll do the video for that. It may not be as me teaching as much. I might just do some explanations on how I interpret the example sentences, or how I interpret the chapter on, as Tai Chem presents it. But I don't consider myself an expert in the Japanese language enough in order to just go too much in detail on my interpretations, as opposed to just saying, here's what the text is saying, and just go off that. In fact, let me also make sure I'm not muting in order to just go. Okay, good. I'm always worried that I'm talking and then it's all muted the whole time. Especially also because the computer's a little bit further away from me, so I got room in which to use my writing pad. Which is going to be important for this. If you hear talking, it might be from the TV, or it might be currently my mother-in-law. She kind of having a doctor looking after her leg. She heard it a couple of days ago, and at the hotel we were staying at, and trying to get it to see if we can get it to feel better, since she's planning to go home tomorrow if possible. Alrighty, yeah. Also, what I've been noticing is a few more subscriptions are happening with the SGJL course, which is good. I am noticing now a little bit uptick in subscribers for the video series. So I assume that, again, the subscribers are because of the video series that I am doing. So that's good. And I'll keep it going that way. So I'll keep this more of a teaching Japanese videos channel. If I start getting into something like virtual reality, I'll I might have to go and switch that up and create a new channel. I don't think a lot. Again, those are two separate things. Virtual reality versus learning Japanese. Even though you could learn Japanese in virtual reality. It's just not there yet, as I mentioned. Alright, so this is about the 5-minute mark. Let's see, going to be starting on lesson 13. So let's go bring this up. So we'll come here. Let's see, lesson 12, so it should be this one right here, lesson 13. Huh, and I don't like that. Let me, why is it saying I need to log in? I shouldn't have to, I should already be logged in. Alright. Alright, let's see. That was weird. Why did it do that? Anyway, such is life. It happens. Let's see. 2-9. We don't care about that. You know, a few reviews just keep leaking, dealing in. Alright, so anyway, let's go to remember the kanji. We're going to go to lesson 13. Alright. And let's see, we're going to have to do, let's see, undress and rumor. So let's bring this here, which should be here. Alright, and just before I start, like I said, I made the announcement on, so I made the announcement on Discord. It looks like no one really cares. In general voice, I also made it on, let's see, here. And looks like, yeah, no one really cares, which is fine. And as also on the Learn Japanese subreddit, and also I did I bumped up the post on the Kanji.kohi forums, which is, God, I need to go and get these things filled out. On the Kanji forums, and also on the Memorize course forums. So like I said, just try to bump those now and again, about once a week or something, just keep it visible for those sites. Not that it's a big deal. Alright, so let me begin. So let's say it's going to be RTK. And let me make sure I got all the pages already prepped. So this is going to have to be lesson 13. So let's see. Let's see, this is number 13. Let's see, 14. Alright, so there's 13. We're going to need to be on 498 for Heisig. Make sure, yeah. 498. So let's bring up Heisig. Come on, grab. Go. We're getting there. Alright, there we are. Okay, so we were at here. So we'll start here in direction, just go down to 498. I like to do that instead. There's a reason for that. What I've been noticing is that Heisig might introduce a radical or a primitive, and I need to make sure I cover that, you know, just in case I forget that. Oh yeah, we didn't cover this in a previous video. Yeah. All right, that's good. So okay, so got the stroke order in, got the Heisig in, and this is already read. This is where I'll be drawing on. So it looks like we are prepared. All right, so let's do the introduction and go from there. Alright, so I'm going to repeat the introduction, but again, this is what I do prior to each of the the videos starting. And okay, so it does sound like deja vu, but there's a reason to it. The reason is I'm going to be linking straight to that time point in the video. So when people get to it, that's probably going to be the first thing to hear instead of my intro at the beginning of this whole video. It's probably better than me trying to like create a bunch of separate individual videos. I just like the idea of doing a live stream. People can be asking questions and whatnot, and then especially if I make a mistake, they can bring up the mistake to me, and then okay, cool, no problem. Alright, so let's see, the time is now 9 minutes. We'll say 30 seconds. It is the 4th. Alright, we are on lesson 13 of RTK. So here we go. And welcome, this is Nuke Marine presenting the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy course series on Memorize. Currently we are in course number 3, which is Remembering the Kanji Optimized, presenting the 555 kanji from 2001.Kanji Odyssey Book 2 in the RTK order. Now we are on, in this course, we are on lesson 13. This should be lesson 13. So right now you should have about 180 or so kanji under your belt. 90 from parts 1 through 6, and then another 90 from 7 through 12. So here we are for the 181 onward. And so we're about a third of the way done with the lessons. This should take about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how many radicals we have to introduce. And let's start the preview. Alright, and before we begin, also, if you'd like to, if you're finding this video is good for you, remember to like it. If you find it's if you find that you've been watching it a lot, you probably want to consider subscribing. And if you think this be useful for another person beginning Japanese, consider sharing it with on any of the various social medias available. Alrighty, as always, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to present a kanji here. I'm going to say the keyword, and it's to teach it. So you hear the keyword, you're going to have to think of this kanji. I'm going to be introducing also. Let me turn on the Kaikun. I'm going to tell you like what each of these things can mean, and also present to you how Japanese use this kanji. However, the purpose is not to memorize this pronunciation or this vocabulary word. I'm only using this as an example, but not as a purpose of teaching. The main thing is, again, keyword to kanji. And I keep saying this in front of every video. I'm going to continue that, just so again it gets through. You'll learn vocabulary later in those courses, both the grammar and vocabulary courses. Alright, so here we have ground. You see it's dirt, and you're going to find out this is a symbol. Okay, actually, this is not the one we're going to look for. We're going to look for the one for undress first. So let's see. We want 499, 490 or 499. There we go. Undress. Alright, so this is what we want to do. So we have here is undress, which looks like flesh or part of the body, and what we're going to find out means what I usually call the horny little devil, or the horny devil, or devil, depending on how you want to look at that. Alright, so that's dress. We'll be going that with Isaac. So this is undressed, or to get nude, go nude. So nugu, nugeru, to get undressed or undress something. Also some words, means to it. Datsui, datsui, undressing, taking off one's clothes. Dashu, escape, interesting. Kyodatsu, prostration, lethargy, collapse. Okay, there we go. And so it sounds like datsu is the onyomi for this. And some meanings it could take on: undressed, removing, escape from something, get rid. So here we have escape. Okay, get rid of, be left out, and take off. One quick story that does this. Undressed is the type of flesh liked best by the horny devil. So yeah, I gave that like calling the horny devil. So it looks like horns on a brother. We'll be covering that. So let's look at the stroke order real quick. Alright, so here we have is, simple stroke order for flesh. And what you're going to find is do the two little horns, then do older brother, or the Bart Simpson. So, imagine Bart Simpson with the devil horns. That could be a good imagery if you like to use cartoons, or the general cartoon of the devil. But yeah, so moon, and that's fairly simple. Alright, so here's, last kanji we covered was direction. Let's see, disturb, boy, perfumed, obese, call on, set free, violent, nothing here. Alright, so here's the primitive he's going to call it. Now he calls it devil. I think teenage horny devil could be just as well, or if you want to imagine Bart Simpson. Alright, so that's same as, so do the little horns, animal horns. 1, 2. So do the little animal horns, and do the head, which is the head of Bart Simpson. So animal horns, head. Then do the pirate leg, peg leg, and club foot, and that's horny little devil, or horny devil. All right, let's go to the next part. So here we have is undressed, which is kind of like the story of it. The type of flesh the devil likes. Undressed flesh is the flesh the devil likes best, or something like that. All right, so let's draw that. All right, so undressed flesh. So you think undressed, think undressed flesh. Draw the moon for part of the body. All right, 1, 2, and then once you got the moon down, you're going to do the devil. 1, 2. Let's do, and remember, horny devil. 1, 2, horny devil, which is horns and older brother. Horns and older brother. There you got it. Undressed, undressed. Nugu, nugu. Next kanji. Now we have is rumor, and there it looks like words or in the microphone or a cell phone and the horny devil. So it sounds like rumor. I think there's another term for it. They actually created, there's another word, let's see, opinion or theory. So it could also be rumor or a, yeah, because there's a setsu of setsume. Let's see. Alright, so it could be rumor, opinion, theory. I think explanation, rumor or explanation could be another one. Yeah, rumor or explanation, that's it's here. Hazy called it rumor. I think explanation works better for how you're going to see the words here. So toku, I'm not quite sure what that word means. Let's see. Setsume, this is a very common word. This is a explanation or exposition. Shousetsu, novel or short story. Okay, there's a and inzetsu, a speech or address. So it has mainly a discussion feeling to it. Use taxable. Okay. Also, the second one, use okay, isn't use taxable? Ignore that. It's the second entry. Use election tour, election campaign, something. All right, let's look at the stroke order real quick. It's going to be fairly simple. So you just do the microphone, boom, 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 or in a little devil, boom, boom. See what Heisig has to offer on this. Let's see, rumor. I don't like that. Maybe an explanation in the devil's own words. The explanation put in the devil's own words in the devil's own words. So you can say rumor explanation in the devil's own words. So let's do words if you want to. So do the microphone along with the devil, or little devil. So it's fairly simple. I mean, so anyway, when you hear rumor explanation, boom, or rumor explanation, boom. Words of the devil. Words can be the words of the devil. Next kanji. Now here we have increase. Now we're going to have here, now I'm going to call that the movie monster. I think Heisey's going to call it something else, but anyway, we got dirt, horn, field, and sun. We're going to, and it's termed as increase. So some words it does. Increase, add, to augment something, to gain or promote something. Increase, fueru. Some words you're going to hear is fueru, to increase, fuyasu, to increase something, or fuyeru means you've increased in numbers. Other words. First entry, so zogen, increase and decrease, fluctuation. Okay. First entry, zoka, increase, increment, addition. And let's see, that looks like gekizo. Why is it doing that? That's weird. Gekizo, sudden increase. Why is it only doing it as a, oh, there we are. Yeah, sudden increase. Alright, increase in the amount of dirt. Now here's a story. The increase in the amount of dirt was due to the movie monster, horns, field, brains, sunny mouth, being killed and reverting back into more dirt. So you got kind of like when you kill a vampire, it reverts to dust, or kill a zombie, it turns into dust, depending on the movie you're watching. Alright, let's see at the stroke order real quick, then we'll talk about the alright, so anyway, so do dirt. So we think of increase, think of an increase in dirt. So yeah, the dirt. Then think horns, field, sun. Horns, field, sun on the right side. Nothing complicated. What we're going to do is create a primitive for that. So let's see what if Heisig creates a primitive or whatnot. Some other words as we're going while we're going to, what is that one? Number 502. So we have pointed. Alright, now here it looks like this was a kanji. Okay, so it looks like it's a kanji in and of itself called formerly. Katsute? I'm not quite sure what, so it's a, alright, so let's do the, so here's where I come into play. So I read this around somebody else and it made sense. So first thing, think of the horns of the movie monster. Alright, now you want to see is the exposed brains of the movie monster. Kind of like the brains if you ever saw Attack on Mars, you got those brains, or some older movie monster where it looks like plastic, a little lump is there. So let's do the field. So this is representing the exposed brains of the movie monster. We do the horns again, do the exposed brains of the movie monster. Then you need the mouth of the movie monster. So we're going to do the sun here, and that's going to represent the mouth of the movie monster. So you can kind of see there's the horns, there's the little eyes of the brains and the eyes of it, and there's the little mouth of it. And so right here, movie monster. All right. You also say formally. The formerly the movie monster was an actor in a suit, type of thing. And think of like the character from The Thing, which was The Thing from Outer Space, which was James Arness, the guy who played Matt Dillon, or something like James Arness or something played the monster. All right, so this is formally. Now we're going to do is increased. Isaac. All right, so there's the. So yeah, when you see this as a primitive, so it is a kanji in and of itself, meaning formally, but we're going to worry about it being the movie monster. Now we're going to do is increase. So when you killed the movie monster, maybe the amount of dirt was increased when the movie because it fell off the flesh of the movie monster, or when you killed it, it reverted all the way into dirt. So it increased the amount of dirt. Increase. Yeah. So that's good enough. Let's go write it. So okay. So remember, when you think of increase, think of an increase in the amount of dirt. So we got the dirt, and then the increased amount of dirt with the movie monster. When the movie monster was killed, it reverted to dirt. Movie monster. And sorry about the drawing. Like I said, I'm kind of need to change the angle slightly. My body. That might help out a little bit. All right, there we go. Something like that. Okay, so yeah, that's increased. Sorry about the appearance and whatnot. Maybe if I had a tablet I'm writing directly on, it will work a lot better. Okay, so increased. Next kanji. Here we have is east. So this is the toe of Tokyo. Higashi, the east. So very simple. In fact, it just means east. It's actually an old story about the sun rising in the east behind the trees, whatever. So tree and sun is east. Here we have is Higashi, which is east. Here we have is Tozai, east and west, the whole country. Okay, that's kind of cool. The Orient and the Occident. It should be Higashi-kuni, so probably like Tohokoku. So eastern country, Tohokoku or something. Ito, east of, and eastward. Alright, good. The sun rises behind a tree from the east. That's easy enough. Let's look at the stroke order. So here's east. So we got one, we got sun, then we complete it off with tree. It's really simple. You got to stretch out the tree, obviously, to make room for it. But we're used to that. Let's see what Isaac has to say. What was that number anyway? That was, oh, yeah, 504. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be east. You need to think east, either east on the compass or something. Or something that you just think of as being east. Eastbound and down if you want to. Smokey and the Bandit. Who knows? Let's draw it real quick. Totally. Alright, so east. So behind the tree, the sun rises in the east. So let's do the tree. So there's a branch of the tree. Let's do the sun. Do the sun, then we're just going to complete the tree. There's the sun. Complete the tree. God, that looks ugly. Okay. There's the sun. One and sun. Complete the tree. Alright, there you go. East. Next kanji. Alright, now this is year end. This is, if you ever, a sigh of, this is how somebody's age, when I say year end, so this is referencing somebody's age. In fact, let's see, year end, so it says age and the occasion or an opportunity, sigh. Yeah. So you kind of see we got stop, we got the march again, so, but now with a little march, so maybe a little children going on a march at year's end for the going on a Christmas Carol parade. Let's see, some words that use this. Saimatsu, year end. Okay, that makes sense. Saigetsu, time, years. I would have thought, okay, time and years. Now here we have is Hatachi, which is referring to 20 years old. Hatachi, 20 years old. And let's see, Seibo, end of the year gift. All right. So again, this means something about a time of year. So again, this is also used in, and what they did is they created there's another kanji they used to reference this, because this is like a lot of strokes. They created a kanji called Sai, which is referencing genius, that is used as kind of an abbreviated shorthand of this, to represent this. Let's see, stroke order. This looks like a complicated stroke order, but it's, again, we're already used to country, so it's not too bad. All right, so we do stroke order for stop, or so there's Harry Potter, Dobie, stop. Okay. Do this stroke order for march. So do the trailing line there of the parade, or the march, which is again a parade with one opinion. Do that, and do the stroke order for little, then finish off the march, or the parade, or the festival, however you want to call it, the fiesta, sorry. All right, year end. This is 512. Let's see what Isaac has to say. So we start with east. Nothing new there. Ridgepole, frozen. Let's see. They mentioned Porter. Not too concerned with that. We'll go into that. Porter is kind of like somebody who helps us samurai do his thing. I tell you what, we'll just show you that real quick, just for Porter. In case, I'll mention again when we get to it. So again, do the little drop, then we're going to do the drop, and then the little samurai. Drop, one, samurai. Alright, that's Porter. If you do it with a... Okay, so yeah, drop, samurai, that's Porter. Somebody who assists. I think it's also a position on the airplane. I might be misremembering. Alright, so let's see, keep going. So we got die, got burn. What number are we to? Okay, VIP. We're going to 512. There we go. Alright, a little complicated, but let's hit it. Be sure not to forget. Little march. Nothing new. Now in Isaac, what he does is around this time he begins getting where he stops giving stories altogether. All he's going to tell you is like what are the primitives, and then you can come up with the story for the most of them. Let's stop us for. All right. So anyway, we're going to year end. So think about the year end. Think of Christmas carols being sung at the end. So there it goes to every stop sign. So here's a Christmas carol that's going to every stop sign. So let's do stop. You can bring in Harry Potter if you want. There's a stop, and it's a march of little kids. So they stop at every stop sign. Because there's a march of, maybe you got to stop because there's a march of little kids who are going on a Christmas carol, on year's end. So let's do the march. Let's do the first part of the march. Then we're going to do little. So we're going to do stop, march. Remember, downward stroke first. March. Do the little. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll finish it off. All right. So it's a march of little kids singing Christmas carols at year's end. And they are all 1 year older. Maybe they're singing about being 1 year older. So that's the size. So yeah, this is about years old. So if you say like Isai, 1 year old, Jusai, 10 years old, Nijusai, which is also Hitachi, 20 years old, Nijuisai, 21 years old. Sai. Be very common. All right, next kanji. So again, that's not too complicated. It looks complicated till you hear the story. Next kanji. All right, now here we have this prefecture. So this is kind of like we had shu for names of country or state or whatnot, or boundaries. Now this is going to be in reference to, it's kind of like the equivalent of states in Japan. So, and these are called prefectures of ken. So I live in Kanagawa ken. Tokyo is actually a country or a state in itself, so that's Tokyo ken, Chiba ken. These are all prefectures. So that's what it means. And so but it's pronounced ken. So you already see it's I, hook, and little I hook. We'll think of the story real quick. So some words. Kincho, prefectural office, probably like government office, or state office equivalent. Kennitsu, prefectural institution. Something ken. Ken, which is just all the various prefectures of Japan. And with ken, Okinawa, Hokkaido ken, Aomori ken. I don't even know all of them. But there's a lot. Yeah. Ken, prefecture. Let's look at the stroke order real quick. So not too complicated. Again, do the I, do the hook, then do the little I hook. So yeah, the prefecture, little I hook. Let me see what was that story this guy gave. The I and the hook come from straight away. Here combined with small, create the I hook locks, which band together and all. I don't really like that. Let's see. Look over it. All right, so maybe you think of a little Japanese map. They're all the prefectures of the Japanese, right? So you're looking over it with your eye, and then okay, you realize that these are little because it's a little map, right? So you want to use the little hook from your needle. You'll pry them up and look at the prefecture even closer, type thing. You know, maybe the little eye hooks that you can, you know, put your needle in to help pull up the little prefecture from this wooden map, if you want to. Just think of it as a wooden map. Prefecture. Well, yeah, prefecture. All right, let's see what Isaac has to say on the matter. Let's see, this is 513. Yeah, so here it is. Yeah, there's nothing. He's not really giving a real story for this. But yeah, and you might see it in a primitive. But again, just think of it as like a Japanese state, a state in Japan. Prefecture is a state in Japan. Control Delete. Okay. All right. So let's say imagine those little eye hooks. So I think on the prefecture you have a little prefecture map. So you got the little eye hooks on for each above each of the prefectures. So let's do the eye. That's an ugly one. But okay. Let's do. Then we do the hook. So there's the eye hook. So this is straight away. Remember, but straight away you had a little needle above it. So we got the eye. Got the little hook. And again, because it's a Japanese map, we're going to say little, which representing, so again, this is Ken, this is prefecture. This is, you know, Tokyo Ken, Kanagawa Ken, Okinawa Ken, Aomori Ken, you know, Hokkaido Ken, something like that. It's a prefecture. It's kind of like doing Texas, state of California, state of New York. When we're talking about the U.S., for Japan, it's all about prefectures. All right, next kanji. I think that's it for this one. So this is about 20 minutes, and we covered about 6 or so. Let's go next. Go levels. We got 3 people watching in the stream, so hello. How are you doing? And if you got any comments or something, feel free to. I'll reply to them, especially if you see me make a mistake. Correct me real quick. That way it's corrected on video, not later on. All right, let's do a preview. Okay, so now we're into another thing. Here we're going to see is ground and what we're going to call scorpion, which is a kanji for something else, but we're going to think of it as scorpion. Ground and scorpion, dirt and scorpion ground. When you see this, it can refer to the ground or earth. Now we already learned the kanji for dirt or soil is that first part, but so these are kind of like, you actually see them, in fact you're about to see it. Let's see. So there we have is, so words that use this. Chika, basement, cellar, or underground. Did I see anything else? I also see the price of land, Chika. Tenchi, let's see. Heaven and earth, the universe. Also you have Tenchi for the second entry is a change of air or a change of scenery. Kyochi, which is the capital, Kyoto and its environs. So you have Jokyo, I guess, but okay, Kyochi. You also have on the second entry, one's lot, your circumstance. Let's see, Jimen, first entry, ground or the earth's surface. Jishin, an earthquake. Okay, that's very popular. Jishin, and then we have is Jimoto, home area, your hometown. But yeah, this is scorpion mines. Imagine posting no trespassing scorpion mines, that helps, or whatever. No trespassing scorpions. You put attack scorpions to guard your land. There you go. All right, ground. Another thing I thought of, because I'm an older person, so I remember the original Attack of the Titans, where a little bag got poked. A little bag with Medusa's head in it got poked with a trident, and little 3 drops of blood hit the ground, and then 3 scorpions, large scorpions, grew from it. So that's how I was imagining ground, but that may not work now, since the new Attack of the Titans one was Clash of the Titans was kind of horrible. Clash of the Titans, not Attack of the Titans. I was thinking of Attack on Titans. Alright, so let's see stroke orders for this. Alright, so here we have is ground. Now, stroke order is going to be a little unusual, but if you did the katakana for sei, it's not going to be too difficult. So let's do the dirt, and we're going to do, looks like the stroke order for sei, for katakana, but we're going to have one additional stroke in the middle of that. So we're going to do there, stroke, and then the 6th stroke is the little club foot from sei. Alright, so that's not too complicated. Let's see, that's 5:15. Let's see what we have. There's 5:14. Let's see. So here he's going to introduce scorpion. Again, this is a kanji in and of itself, but he doesn't mention it here. We learned that in, I guess, book 3. Alright, so let's say, so we see this, we're going to think scorpion. So you get scorpion, you're going to see the scorpion's body, the little scorpion's tail. So first I want to do is teach you is, remember this for sei. So this is a kanji for sei. katakana. Sorry, katakana for say. We're going to do this, but in the middle, we're going to do a little hook. Hook, and then we're going to finish it off. All right, and then that right there, when you see it, that's scorpion. So yeah, the second of scorpion with the scorpion's hook doing something in the story. I think, you know, I guess there's a comic book character in Spider-Man called the Scorpion, but I don't really think of him too much, so I just use an actual scorpion. Now we're going to be doing is ground. Alright, so here we have soil or dirt and a scorpion, earth animal. So on the ground, you want to protect your ground. So what you do is just put a bunch of attack scorpions there to protect your ground. People aren't going to be walking around if they think there's a lot of scorpions down there. Yeah. Let's draw that. Alright, so again, ground. Think of ground, immediately think of dirt. Think of dirt. Or soil. Think of dirt. Ground, soil. Then, of course, is the scorpions that you put down on the ground to protect it. Warning. Ground protected by scorpions. So, car protected by viper. That's an old car alarm system that was really freaking annoying. Protected by viper. Stand back. So, what did we do? We just stand near the car to let it go off, and because again, you weren't doing anything wrong, but you again, just because you had a car doesn't mean you all of a sudden nobody can get near it. You know, you just weren't allowed to touch it or something. But that car pretended like you couldn't even get near it. But anyway, that's ground. So you hear ground. That then we have dirt. So again, don't confuse it with soil or dirt. All right, it's a little different. Ground. Next kanji. Alright, now we got wind. In fact, we're going to learn this top part is going to be, when we're going to think of this top part, it looks like, if you did, I'll explain it with the number 9 as well. And we're also going to learn gnats. So this is wind. Could mean air, style, or manner as well. In this case, mainly it's wind. So kaze. Kaze is wind, first entry. Other words you're going to see. Furoku, wind power. Fuzoku, manners, customs, sexual service, sex industry. Didn't know that. Alright. Kyofu, strong wind. Let's see, it also has second entry. Kyoto style, urbanity, refinement. Okay. Third entry. Kyofu, raging wind. Fourth entry, form of morals. Oh, okay. Let's see, Fuze. Looks like the third entry. The appearance, air, taste, the elegance, entertainment, hospitality. And Chubu, palsy or paralysis. Okay, palsy or paralysis. Doesn't sound nice. Okay, so here we have a story real quick. In the full kanji for wind, we see bands of gnats being blown about in the wind. So in the wind, and the inside things will be gnats. Let's look at the stroke order first. We're going to be covering, there's a couple of things here. So there we got, first thing is do the wind, which kind of like if you remembered parade or march, you do the first two, so do the downwards, the peg leg, then follow what this thing is going to be is the, we're going to consider like trailing or wind, a little trailing wind. Then what we're going to, in this middle is going to be gnats, which is going to be a drop of, in this part right here is going to be insects. So this is going to be learning 3 primitives in coming up with this kanji. So we're going to learn gnats, insect, and trailing wind. So let's see what Heisey have to say. This is 524. 524. Alright, we're at 516. So let's see. Alright, first thing we want to learn is insect. Let's get pond. Let's bring up insect. Now here, it looks kind of like a mix of moo. This can mean insect, also, but we're going to learn as the primitive. Okay, so you already said. So when you think of an insect, imagine, I don't know, this kind of, you know, when you want to take care of it, you want to kill an insect, so you think of insects is like biting you with its little mouth. Alright, so you got the little mouth, so what you want to do is take a little stick on it, take a little stick at it, and then, we'll end it with the, let me give it one more. Okay, so you got the mouth, got the little stick. Alright, and that's insect right there. Let's see. Let's think of a little insect entered the center of your mouth. So you just try to like swipe it away with the flick of your finger. So maybe that's what it's gonna do, is like swipe away with a little flick of your finger. So the last 2 strokes, you can imagine that. And yeah, let's see. Does Isaac actually say any more of this? Yeah, so he's not making creating any type of story about that. But again, just think of your standard insect, maybe a fly or a mosquito or something, some type of insect that's annoying you. And next thing we're going to see: lightning bug, schoolhouse insect, snake, rainbow, butterfly, single, silkworm. Ah, here we are, wind. So here we have is the full kanji for wind. And I think we've already, did we cover that? I don't think so. We'll cover the full full kanji for wind. So here we're going to have is what they're calling gnats. Does he mention gnats? He doesn't mention gnats either. So we'll go cover that as well. Alright. Alright, so for gnats, it's good. So here you have insects. So what now you want to do is do a drop. A little drop representing all the small insects. So this is gnat. So we got insect, then we got gnats. Now we want to do the full kanji for wind. So imagine, first thing is we want to do, if kind of reminds you about the number 9. So remember 9, we had something kind of like this. So we're going to kind of replicate this for wind. So first thing, you're going to do the downward stroke like before, kind of like the peg leg. Then you're going to come across in what's called the trailing right there. And this is, we've kind of seen that before. This is the trailing wind. So forward wind, trailing wind. Alright, peg leg and the trailing wind. So maybe the trailing wind is blowing the flag of a ship or something. Alright, so that's the primitive for wind if we haven't used it already. In fact, I don't think we have. Let me go and cheat real quick. Let's go. So we got wind. I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Almost had it there, but that's for hood. So it's not like hood where the direction of that stroke. Alright, so let's go. Okay, cool. We're good to go. So let's, yeah, so remember the direction. So it's not like hood, alright, it's going the opposite way, so it's like a trailing. Alright, now what we're going to do inside of this. So let's do it. Do the wind, remember, trailing. Alright, and then inside there we're going to do the gnat. And the gnat is like a drop. Again, this is for wind. In that wind is blowing and it's getting all the gnats going around in a little small herd, basically making all the gnats go around in a circle. So that's wind. This is kaze. Boom. Right there. Done for you. Okay. Gnats. So wind and gnats combine to form kaze. Wind. Next kanji. Scribe. So this is words or word snake, and this is we're going to find out a snake, which is a perfect way of describing a scribe or a reporter or someone who writes stuff. So it's a scribe, an account, a narrative. Some words. Shirusu, I don't know it real quick. Kinyu, entry, filling in a, make sure, yeah, filling in forms. Kigo, symbols, code, signs. No. No. Denki, I'm not. Yeah, okay, third entry. Biography, life story. You can also hear is Kisha, which is a reporter. Niki, which is a diary. So ki, so I guess right there. Here we go. Word snake might be how a misquoted athlete would characterize the scribe for a local newspaper. Word snake. Fairly simple. Let's look what the stroke orders are. So again, do a stroke order. We'll find out. I'll show you this thing for snake, but you kind of see this little, there's a club foot. So it looks like he did ko and then the club foot. Not too difficult. But anyway, words. Let's say, and this is 529. Alright, let's see what we've got. So here we have his wind. So here we're going to do is the, alright, so this is calling a kanji for self, or oneself. Or it's not self, it's not oneself, it's different. There's lots of kanjis referencing the individual. This is one of them. Let's just practice this real quick. So this is snake. Alright, so first thing is, I guess they can help, is think of the ko. So we're going to kind of do that. That's going to be so this is going to be snake. So imagine the first two strokes here is there. And then the next thing it's going to do is the club foot. So there we have is the club foot. And it could be a little more balanced than that. Alright, and that's snake. So you see that? Just think of the regular old snake. Now we're going to do, let's see, it's probably going to bring up, okay, so that's 525, got rouse, queen, reformation. Ah, here we are, scribe, words and snakes. And we already did a story for word snake, so let's write it out. And this is where the remembering the kanji started, or reviewing the kanji website started becoming popular, was because in part 3, James Heising stopped giving stories for kanji. He just started just giving primitives and left it up to you to make up the stories. And that was kind of difficult for some people because, you know, it was easier if they could share on the, if we find the site reviewing the kanji, now people can share their own stories, and you might get information from somebody else, whereas, you know, something wasn't clicking with you, but then you saw somebody else wrote a story, it's like, that clicked, alright, cool. And it just sped things up. It made things a lot easier for people. And, yeah. Alright, so anyway, so you think of scribe, think of word snake. So let's do the words, which are the lines coming out of the mouth, and let's do the snake. In fact, we'll do it in the small parts, and then alright, there we go, scribe. Next kanji. Oh, cool, electricity. Now here we're going to find is the primitive for eel, which is kind of cute. So anyway, rain, and think of eel, electric eel, so it creates eel-like bolts of electricity. Rain on the electric eel, generating electricity. Yeah, so some words that use that. Denki, you're going to learn that like one of your first few words you learn. Electricity, denki. Denpo, a telegram. That's interesting. Hatsuden, and that should be power generate. Yeah, generation of electrical power. Hatsuden. Yep. Let's look at the stroke orders. Alright, so we got the primitive for rain, boom. So one, crown, stick, dot, 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 good. Then we're going to learn for eel, which is do the sun, and then do the trailing, the club foot, with the club foot. Sun with the club foot, it looks like an eel. Sort of. There's the head of the eel, there's the tail of the eel. Alright. Let's see what Heising say. This is 435. So let's go through here. So here we have is, let's see, wrapped up. In fact, it's like the tail of the snake. There you go. Yeah, so it's like the sun with the tail of the snake, which is the club foot again. Let's see, placenta, cannon, bubble. In fact, that right there we're going to use for bubble. Tortoise. Alright, so we'll learn this first. We're going to learn tortoise real quick, and I'm going to show you the I tell you what, I'm not going to worry about I'm just going to show you the primitive. Then we're going to go to electricity. Alright, so let's learn the primitive for L. So here's where it's coming from. So it's coming from this, sun, two suns. I think this is it. I'm doing this from memory real quick. And then finally a big tail. Alright, but we just care about this part at the bottom. So what we want to do for eel, think of the sun, snake. Eel is, think of sun and the tail of a snake. So maybe electric eel. It's like gives off the brightness of the sun, but it has the tail of a snake, or something like that. And that's eel. It might not be that bad. It might look a bit more like this, a bit more. All right, something like that. Eel. Now let's say now we're going to go to electricity, which is rain, weather, and eel. Okay, yeah, it's not too bad. Bound up, sun, and yeah, okay. Let's draw it. It's okay, electricity. So let's do the rain. I want to know. So one crown. We'll do it. We'll split up rain real quick. One crown. There it is. Almost looks like apron. Right? Almost looks like apron. Boom, 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 boom. So, and except apron, yeah, apron was done a little bit differently, but yeah. So we do the electric. So do the rain. Boom, 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 boom. Now we want to do the eel, which is the sun. Boom. Sun. Then the tail of the eel. All right. Brightness of the sun because it's electric eel. Giving there's the tail of the eel. Boom, like a snake. All right, that's electricity. That's a fun kanji to learn. I don't know. I use it. You're going to see that a lot of places anyway. Next kanji. We're getting close to done, right? Now we're going to house. Oh, good. Another thing. This is, I guess this is going to be a long lesson because we're presenting a lot of new primitives to you. Okay, so here we have house, and inside the house it's going to be, like, this is the full kanji for house. So inside the house is going to be a pig. So in the house, you know, home, I think of Green Acres, home of the pig. So you house or a home. So you're going to have ie or uchi, house, residence, dwelling. In fact, you're going to see it referred to as uchi as well. So ie and uchi. Some other words. Kaoku, kaoku, house or a building. House or a building. Kate, assumption. Nope. Make sure I'm getting the right thing. Okay, second entry. Kate, home, family, a household. Saka, that's a writer or a novelist or an author. Okay. Kerai, a retainer or retinue, a servant. Okay. Honke, head of the household. Right. And then bunke, branch of a family branch or branch of a family. Alright, we're going to learn that bottom part is pig. So let's, I'll show you the stroke order real quick. It's going to be kind of unusual because we've got to use that primitive first. Alright, so do the stroke order for house. Now it's going to look, now this is going to be kind of like pack of wild dogs, but the stroke's not going to go all the way through. So you're going to do kind of like the bottom part of ah as well, if you think about it. Let's see. Yeah, that could work as well. But yeah, downward stroke and a curve. Then do a couple more of the legs of the pack. This could be the little mane of the razorback pig, and then this is the tail of the pig if you want to. It depends on how you want to look at it. We'll go into it when we're actually drawing it. Alright, so let's see what Heisei says. So this is 541. So we got electricity, you got dragon, waterfall. Alright, so here we're going to do is learn pig or sow. We'll do this in parts. Okay. Alright, so you don't, this is just as a primitive. Alright, so first thing you want to do is maybe that's the barrier of the pig, the barrier that's keeping the pig in, so or it's a pillow. Alright, and its head is resting on the pillow. So this is a very household pig. So yeah, that means alright, and then we're going to do this little curve. So I guess that kind of looks like kind of like that, kind of like with the child. So you're doing that curve. So and also kind of looks like if you did a pack of wild dogs, but it's just meeting up with there. Okay, so we've got the pillow, then the pig's head, body of the pig, and then we want to do the two legs of the pig. There's the two legs, pig, head of the pig, two legs, and then we're going to do kind of like remember with water, we're going to kind of sort of simulate that as well. So we've got the pig, head of the pig, body of the pig, two more legs. Here's the mane or the back of the pig, and then here's maybe the tail of the pig. Alright, that's really ugly, but yeah, that's sour or something. Now we want to do his house. Let's get to there. Let's see, there's pork, pursue, consummate, let's see, razorback or horned pig. Here you have his house. Yeah, I think of Arnold the Pig from Green Acres. You may not have even heard of that show, but it's just or maybe just think of a pet pig. You know, a pet. You got a house, a best house, the type that has a pet pig for a house. So do the house, then let's do the pig. So again, do the one, and then put the pig in the house, and let the one represent the pillow, and then just draw the rest of the pig. So we'll do right there. We'll do the body first. Do the legs, and then we'll finish it off. So there's the house, head, body, legs, then the last. So again, it kind of looks like the one side of water and whatnot. Alright, and that's house. House. Again, a very common word, a very common kanji, but it's just kind of complicated. But yeah, pig, remember pig, we're going to use that, and he's going to mention that when we get to it. We'll get a couple other things like piggy bank and whatnot. And then if you add horns, then think of it like a razorback, kind of like an attack pig, more dangerous. So there's house. Let's see, think of three little pigs, a house made of straw. So there's a house. Okay, yeah, there you go. Think of house, think of the three little pigs who had a little house. Now here, let me look at this stroke order. And again, this is how I usually do it. Yeah, it's right there. I kind of have it kind of like it connected. Like the side of water. You saw, depending on the font, it might look a little different. Alright, so let's go next thing. So now we have his location. Now here we're going to have sun, and it looks like what's called a piglet, which is going to become piggy bank. So yeah, this is called location, or a place, an area or whatnot. Ba, a place, an occasion, a situation. This is also Jonai, inside a castle. No, sorry, ignore that. Jonai, second entry, on the grounds. Kaijo, first entry, assembly hall, meeting place. Nyujo, first entry, an entrance, admission, entering. Alright, and this, like as we all know, location is a determining factor of valuing property. How much patch of your soil will you put in your piggy bank is determined by its location. So how much soil do you put in your piggy, So it's like the value of location is kind of like a reference. It's almost like a piggy bank, You actually, yeah, land becomes like a piggy bank. You can actually grow in wealth if you treat it right. Stroke order. So we're going to do land. So think of location, think of dirt. Alright, and piggy bank we're going to learn is sun, or like coins that look like a little sun, kind of like, coins kind of look like a little sun if you think about it, that you drop into the piglet, which is the piggy bank. So this whole thing here is called the piggy bank. Sun, piglet, piggy bank. Let's go to Isaac real quick. This is 545. So we're at 541. So we have house, marry into, overpowering, piglets. Alright, so let's do piglets, and we'll do piggy bank. Then we'll do, finally, location. So piglets, piggy banks, locations. Alright, first thing we want to do is let's do piglets. So again, we're taking this thing here for Sal. We're taking for Sal. I'm going to turn this into a piggy bank, or into a piglet. Alright, so for a piglet, still do the 1. Alright, you're going to do the head, kind of like a curve. Then you're going to do the body. Kind of looks like a ku here. Or I'm sorry, yeah, so it kind of looks like this. Alright, so we got there, boom, that, and we should do the other stroke. And I think I did that right. I'm probably screwing this up. Let me make sure I'm not. Yeah, okay, that looks like it. So yeah, see how it's like 1 ku, and then the 2 little legs for the tail, or for the feet. Alright, 1 ku, and then 2 strokes for the feet. So that's not too complicated. So this is piglet. Boom. Alright, so again, 1 ku, 2 little tails for the feet. Piglet. Now what we want to do is piggy bank. So for there, we want to put the sun, and the sun here is kind of like representing like little coins that look like the sun. And you want to drop it into the piglet, which is the piggy bank. What is a piglet? What is a piggy bank? Oh, I'm sorry, I screwed that up. Boom, boom. Alright, so let's do there's the sun. Let's do that. Let's do the head and the tail. Then we do the sun. A little pillow your piggy bank's laid on. Head, the tails, and then the 2 little legs. And that's piggy bank. Now we want to do location. Location is a piece of dirt. Location is a piece of dirt that grows in value almost as if you're putting money in your piggy bank. Alright, so if you want to, you can say, so there's your location. If it's got a great location, like the sun's shining all day, it's almost like it's like money in the piggy bank. So there's sun, dirt, sun. Let's do piggy bank. So let's do it one more time. So there's the dirt, there's the sun. Boom. And that's location. That's dirt that's like money in your piggy bank. Next kanji. Wow. Okay. Woo. Yet again, another one. This is taking a lot longer. I am sorry, but again, these are a lot of primitives we're being introduced to. So here we have his sheep, water sheep. So I just think of that old fable about the farmer had so many sheep that he threw into the lake or the ocean. It soaked the wool soaked up all the ocean, and then the kid was able to go out and collect the fish. But unfortunately, the sheep shook their wool, and all the water flowed back into the ocean, and the child drowned or something. That's a fake fairy tale based on another fairy tale I heard, but okay. Okay, so this is ocean, or Western style. Here, like I think it was like Yofuku is like Western style clothes. So here we have Yogaku, Western learning, so going overseas to learn. Yofu, Western style. Okay. Kaiyo, the ocean. So here you have is sea and ocean. So yeah, don't confuse this with sea. So here ocean. In fact, I could probably edit this to say not sea, not Kai. Frag it. Let's do it. Open and link a new tab. Sure, why not? Ocean, not. Not. Okay. Let's see. You. Say Kai. Kai gone. How do we do that? Okay. There. Ocean, not that. And I'll probably go to ocean, the sea as well, and change that to say not ocean thing. Okay. There we are. Ancient fable ocean was cleared up with all the water because the wool of the sheep absorbed it all. Okay, water and sheep. Let's look at the stroke order. Alright, so here we have piggy bank, intestines, there's location, hot water. Here we have a sheep. Let's learn that real quick. And yeah, much like how we're going to find out. So look at the stroke. Horns, 3, tail. Horns, 3, and then body. Let's do sheep. Draw deep. Alright, so here's sheep. So you want to think of the sheep, think of the horns of the sheep. 3 bags full. So think of the 3 for 3 bags full. So sheep, blah blah blah. Actually, have you 3 bags full. There's the 3 for the 3 bags full, and then we want to do the body of the sheep. So that's sheep. Normally, what you're going to see in the primitive is the whole thing, well, with the tail cut off, and then something's going to happen. Usually, something's happening below here. All right, good. So horn, 3, body, or a stick for the body. That's sheep. Let's keep going. So here we have is beauty. As far as I learned that. Ocean. Here we are. Okay, good. Water and sheep. Distinct from sea. Yeah. Okay. Let's. Yeah. So do the water. There's a horn, and then do the rest of the sheep. That's easy enough. Let's just do that. So okay, ocean. So think of the ocean was dried up because of all its water. Because we think of ocean, we think of water. Because of the sheep got thrown, the farmer's sheep got, all the sheep got thrown into it. So horns, 3 bags full. And here we're going to do the full thing for sheep. Alright, so this is oceans, or also Western style. Alright, right there, oceans. Next kanji. We're almost done here. Okay, here you can kind of see dirt, and here you can see sheep, and then you have crossing the road. So accomplished when the sheep was able to cross the road without any dirt on it, it accomplished something. Dirt covered sheep crossed the fearfully road, achieved a sense of accomplishment or something. Okay. So yeah, there's a bunch of dirt, and the sheep crossed the road without, picking up a bunch of dirt. Yeah, so that works. Okay, so it's I think she's might have you checked the bedroom? Maybe in the bedroom. Koa? No. Maybe. Alrighty. So yeah, close that off. Alright, so we got accomplished. So let's look at the stroke order real quick. Got 2. Okay, one more after this. So do the dirt. Okay, that's easy enough. Do sheep. 1, 2, 3, stick, and then do road. So dirt, sheep, road. Sheep crossing a dirt road without getting dirty is a sense of has accomplished something. Let's see also other words it can mean. To reach something, to arrive at something. So reach as in reach an attempt, sure, reach to attain something. So let's see, tatsujin. A tatsujin, an expert, so a person who has obtained something of mastery. Okay. Chotatsu, fluency, facilness. Okay. There's also second entry, supply, provision, raising. Okay, that's interesting. Dentatsu, transmission, communication, delivery, convenience. This is also the dachi of tomodachi, if you're interested. Tatsu. Okay, accomplished something. there's the stroke order we already saw. Very simple. Let's see, it's 552. So we got 51, we got fresh, detailed. There you have is accomplished. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Alright, so let's think of a dirt covered road. Easiest thing for me anyway. Alright, so let's do the dirt. So you accomplished something because your sheep was able to cross the dirt. So you got the dirt, and here's your sheep crossing the dirt. There's the sheep. There's the dirt. Sheep crossing the dirt on the road without getting. Alright, so yeah, when you've accomplished something, it's like a dirt covered sheep crossing the road without getting anything else, without getting, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I always think like they're crossing the road without getting any dirt on them. You know, they've accomplished something. Yeah, most sheep crossing the dirt are covered in dirt. Yeah, most sheep crossing the road are covered with dirt. Boom. But you've accomplished something when you get the, you know, purely white sheep. Because that way you don't have to clean the wool after you sheet roam. How's that? Yeah, accomplished. Next kanji. Last one. This is the last one. This has been a long lesson too, and I apologize. But okay, so here we're gonna have is what's called wool. So we're gonna have a sheep, and then we're gonna have a little tail to it. So that's like the little wool. So think of that as a little thread of a wool sweater of yeah, a thread of a wool sweater. So wool that you pull on. So yeah, it unravels the whole. You probably see that in like a little cartoons, older cartoons, where it has a little sheep, and so it pulls out a piece of wool on the sheep, and then and the entire sheep goes naked just for fun. Now here we have is distinction. So here we have is wool and the craft, or wool and construction. So distinction, a difference, variation. You know, you can tell something compared to something else. There's something different about them. They're not the same. They're different. Distinction. So here we have is sasu, be able to point out the differences. Sai, let's see, do we have? Okay, so sai, difference, disparity. That's the fifth entry. Sabetsu, discrimination. This is like racial discrimination. Sabetsu, distinction, differentiation. Gosa, measurement error, a calculation error. So a difference in. Okay. Alrighty. Now, distinction. Now, for me, I think distinction. I think of personally for me, it's Woolcraft. I think of the New Zealand game called Woolcraft. Now, do they have it here? In New Zealand, the wool of the sheep are wrapped around high-quality starch I-beams, give the distinction between regular I-beams. I guess that's one way of looking at it, or the distinction between wool that's been crafted versus wool that's just been sheared completely off the sheep. You know, you'll be able to tell the difference, distinction. Let's look at the stroke order. Alright, so we do sheep, we do the first sheep, then this little stroke here. And if you notice, that's sort of like doing the cliff, like drawing the strokes for cliff, and so sheep and cliff. But in this case, we're going to think of it as wool. And then we have is almost kind of like we did the kanji for left, but because there's the I-beam under it. So yeah, distinction. Distinction between wool that's made by someone who's right-handed versus someone who's left-handed. So the left-handed, maybe the wool who's constructed something that's made left-handed is distinct from the, you know, the majority of wool is crafted by right-handed people. So maybe it's more rare and it looks more. It's worth a lot more because again, left-handed people made it. So it's like only 10% of the wool is made of that quality. Who knows? Distinction. Let's see. So we have envious. Don't worry about that. There we have it. Real quick, we'll do wool and then we'll do distinction. So let's show you wool. Alright, so let's do a sheep. So do the horns of the sheep. Horns of the sheep, 3 bags full. Horns of the sheep, 3 bags full. Body of the sheep. Now we're going to do wool. Use sheep to make wool, right? And it's kind of like this, doing one thread. That's wool. Now we want to do distinction. Alright, so that's craft. Oh, sorry. Do craft. Okay. Do the 3 for the sheep. Do the 3 for the sheep. And do the thread for the wool. Do the thread for the wool. And then we want to do the crafting of the IB. All right, this is distinction, sa or something. All right, that's the 15th kanji for today. Alrighty. All right, that's done. Okay, so that's wow. Let me go and finish this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that was another 38 minutes. So it's like plus the 20 minutes of the first bit. So that's about an hour. All right, so this went for over an hour. But the way I imagine it, I mean, it's like every single kanji was presenting. It was almost like every single kanji was presenting a new primitive. Nothing. So that was good. So this is actually an important lesson because of the number of primitives that are introduced. And hopefully it made a lot of sense when I covered it. And that's also the importance of having the book as reference, because again, if I do skip a primitive because I forgot about it, or it happens up later and I don't recall back to it, again, there's not much we can do about it. So that's why it's really important to also purchase the book. Don't just depend only on these videos or the memorized series. All right, so let's see next levels. Alright, and yeah, alright, so let's go to level 18. Alright, and let me just find out real quick, let me find out something. Let me go mute real quick. Alright, so it looks like I'll be having dinner in about an hour or so, which can get enough time for another lesson. Although that was it's hard to explain, but it's kind of exhausting. Kind of exhausting doing these lessons, especially because each one's a new story and whatnot. Alright. Alright, so you're hearing a little conversation going on that's mainly talking about the mother-in-law was having her leg kind of fixed up a little bit, and also talking a little bit about dinner, whatnot. Alright, cool. Alright, so that was the hour mark. I think what I'll do real quick, let me play this, play a video, because I need to go and refresh coffee and water and kind of unwind real quick before I get into the next lesson. Let's see, shrink you down. Okay.
例えばこの女性39歳独身2008年の今年不惑の40歳を迎えこの世代は80年代のバブル経済の真っ只中で青春期
どこ行ったんだろう。
母さん、元気ですか？
元気だ。
Oh, よかった。Alright, 24-minute marks. We'll do this for that. Let me mute the microphone. And I'll be right back.
はい。ありがとう。昨日合コンやめてリーコの家行ったんだよ。
そうなんだ。
リーコのこと心配になって。
誰かに会った？
彼氏と住んでんだね。
バカ。
よかったね。あんな素敵な彼氏ができて。
本当に彼氏じゃないの。薬飲んでくるね。すいません。
お前昨日店ですごかったな。
すごいって私何かしたんですか？
いやでもこれお前のために言わないでおこう。
何したんですか？
だからすごいことで首。お前さ、なんで金に困ってんの？
室長には関係ないことじゃないですか。 失礼します。
あれなんだけど。
シュークリームなら作りませんから。
じゃあ作り方を
失礼します。
って
皿洗い時給1000円日払いか。よし。すいません。あれ？あれ？回収してくれたんじゃないんですか？
してませんよ。何か不都合でも。おい、まさかまた破損？
あ、いえいえ。あ、そういえばナイトは返品されたらどうなるんですか？
もちろん記録されたデータは全て消去します。
消去？
つまりあなたのことは一切忘れるということ。弊社のロボットは顔も体も性格も全てお客様好みのオーダーメイド。伊沢さんがご不要となればあとは処分するだけです。
そうですか。
ご購入されますか？
いえ、とんでもないです。
修理費はまだお支払いいただいてないけど。
絶対払いますから。
ありがとうございます。兄ちゃんのおかげで一日早く終わったよ。でもよくそんなに頑張れるな。大切な彼女のためですから。
伊沢。
はい、すいません。
あんた最近たるんでんじゃないの？
伊沢、ちょっと。
はい、失礼します。これ何なんですか？こんなことされてもシュークリームは作りませんから。
Alright, alright, let me pause this. I'm a little minute over, but that's okay. Let's go back to, let's say, 2008 or something. If I doing this that way, when I start it up again, it's going to start up about the 28-minute mark.
ありがとうございま
That
す。
should be good. Okay. Okay, so that last lesson took an hour, over an hour to finish up, which is understandable. Like I said, when this is all said and done, it's going to be like 30 plus hours of lecture / lesson, you know, which is probably how long it would take for you if you were doing it individually anyway. So again, hopefully this is helpful. I don't know. This is the first time for me. I did try it as a actual lessons when I was teaching on the Navy base, the Yokosuka Naval Base in Yokosuka, Japan, and I don't think some people were getting some benefits of it, other people weren't. But I never did it long enough to where I could find out from them like what was the long-term benefits of it. But most people say though, if you do learn kanji, of the people that actually have learned all the kanji, like either the lessons I've memorized or whatnot, it has been beneficial when they later go on to use it for learning real Japanese. even if at that moment, you know, again, learning kanji isn't Japanese, it will help with the going into learning Japanese. Okay, so now we're going to be on lesson 14. Let me go and bring up the... Okay, so we're going to be 555, so nothing new there. So it'll be from distinction to dawn, wear something. Okay, so that's all prepared. Okay, so right now I've got 4 people watching in the stream, so hello 4 people watching in the stream. And if you want to make questions, comments, or correct any errors of which I make, feel free to. In fact, my mother-in-law corrected me on something I had said, like Hokkaido-ken is not a thing. You say Hokkaido, you don't say Hokkaido-ken, and you don't say Tokyo-ken. You say Tokyo-to or Tokyo. Was it Tokyo-fu-ken or Tokyo? Okay, Kyoto. Okay, Osaka-fu. All right. So some prefectures have ken, like Kanagawa-ken. Others don't. There's Aomori-ken, Kanagawa-ken, and then others don't. So again, I didn't study the prefectures of Japan, so I'm not sure how they go. Okay, anyway, so that's corrected that from the previous thing, which people may or may not pick up later on. All right, so here we have his dawn. All right, so let's start this off. So hopefully, let me see. Look at this. Yeah, looks like we're gonna be quite a few primitives, new and whatnot. Yeah, that's gonna be an issue, but such is life. So when he gets to the person primitive, there's gonna be a lot of, that's gonna be a little easier because it's just gonna be, that primitive is gonna be repeated a lot. It's actually a very commonly used primitive, but he's saving it to like the middle of the book before introducing it. Almost like the thousandth kanji in his book before we even learn the person kanji, even though it's a very commonly used kanji, primitive or radical. All right, so let's start. So let me do the introduction, and let's see. So we got it 1 hour, 21 minutes. We'll say 22 minutes, 0 seconds. This is the 4th of January, and let's begin. Alright, and welcome back to the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy. This is Nuke Marine presenting the course series. In this case, this is course number 3, Remembering the Kanji Optimized, presenting the 555 kanji from the 2001 Kanji.Odyssey Book 1 in RTK order. Again, if you've been watching this video series, if you find this particular video nice, you can like it as your preference. If you find that you've been watching these videos frequently, consider subscribing. And finally, if you think this could be beneficial to other people, consider sharing it on social media or to a friend directly, however you see fit. Again, today's lesson we are currently on lesson 14. So we're starting in, I usually like to think of them in groups of 6, so the lessons 1 through 6, and then 7 through 12, then 13 through 18, just for mentality. In fact, that's how I got it divided up in the courses, and I'll probably continue with that pattern as far as possible. Okay, and then let's learn this. So let's make sure, so we're going to do dawn and then miscellaneous. So let's start with the previews. Let's see if it messes up or not. Okay, good, it starts with that. And remember, we're doing keyword to kanji, and then even though I'm going to be presenting Japanese words, you're not supposed to, don't worry about memorizing these Japanese words or what they mean. That'll happen later, because some of these are going to be common words that you'll learn early on, some are not so frequently used, so you don't need to waste as much time in the beginning learning, infrequently used words. And so trust in the vocabulary and the grammar for when they are introducing you, if you're going off pre-made study materials like these courses are. Okay, then we'll present the story and then the stroke order. Alright, so let us begin. Alright, so here we have wool again with I, and here we have don, which means to wear something. It's a counter for suits of clothing. It also means to arrive somewhere, oddly enough. So don, to think of don clothing, which is to literally pull wool over your eyes, to wear a sweater, wearing a sweater. Some words that use it. So kiseru, suku and sukeru. Kiru means to wear, and suku means to arrive somewhere. Chakuyo, first entry, have on, wearing something. Second one is chakushu, first entry, to start work. to undertake, embarkations, that's to arrive at something, to arrive at starting work. And dochaku, aboriginal, indigenous. Aichaku, attachment, love, covetous. Interesting. Shuchaku. Surprised these are all saying chaku. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Looks like the first entry. Attachment, adhesion, tenacity. And let's look at the... yeah, so it's really chaku and jaku, but that's okay. Alright, then dawn. So let's look at the stroke order. Fairly simple. So do the wool, horns, sheep, little thread of wool for wool, and then do eye. So dawn, pull the wool over your eyes. See what Isaac has to say on the matter. Yeah, about the same there. Pulling the wool over one's eyes, donning a sweater. All right, so let's leave that. Let's do it. So let's do the wool. So wool is going to be sheep. Let's do the horns of the sheep and the 3 bodies. That, and then the thread for the wool. All right, so there we go. The wool, and then all of a sudden we're going to do his eye. And it's probably done a little. It's probably more compact up at top, so maybe it's done up here. And then the eye is not as spread out. But yeah, this is to dawn, or to arrive at something. To arrive somewhere. Dawn. Next kanji. We're down to 2 people again. Okay, we're going to learn a fun one. We're going to learn turkey in this one. So we have 9 trees and turkeys. In this case, miscellaneous. So turkey is, again, a primitive we'll be learning, and it's used in a lot of kanji. Miscellaneous. Yeah, it's just like various, but not related to each other. So like miscellaneous stories, collection of stories, or anyway, look at some other words. Anyway, so zatsudan, chatting or idle talk. So talking about various miscellaneous things. Zatsuon, noise. Okay, various sounds. Konzatsu, confusion, congestion. Zosui, second entry, rice gruel containing vegetables. Okay. Zoki bayashi. Zoki bayashi, grove of mixed trees. Zatsuhei. Here it's the same zatsu, so it's rough or crude. Alright. Let's see the stroke order, and then we'll introduce the we'll introduce it. Okay, so here we have is do the 9, do the tree, nothing unusual there. And then we're going to do is turkey. And we'll introduce turkey coming up. Alright, so here is... Alright, so it's going to be this is like the first 2 strokes like E, the katakana for E. We're going to do the drop for like, kind of like looks like a Lord. We're going to use 2 strokes as opposed to 1 stroke. Or 4 strokes for Lord instead of just 3 strokes. And then altogether this is going to be, we're going to think of as this being turkey. Let's practice that real quick. Delete. So we'll do this stroke at a time. So first thing is, remember, think of E. Alright, so we're going to do the stroke for E there. Now also what you do is think of, not Lord normally went this direction. We're going to go the other way. So we're going to do a drop. Let's see. This, and then boom, boom, boom. Alright, so anyway, let me do that again. So we're going to do... I'm messing this up real quick. Alright, let's do drop, drop 1, drop 1, stick, and then we're going to just do 3 more strokes. Let's complete it. Stick, and then do 1, 2, 3. Alright, so that's what's going to happen. So let's do the... So let's say turkey. So this is like just the plumage of the turkey if you got to do it. So we'll do there, 1 stroke, 1 stroke down, and then we're just going to finish it off. If you notice, stroke down, 1, 2, 3. That right there, that's turkey. Turkey. It doesn't look like a turkey. It's just we're trying to. It's probably a kanji in its own right. I'm not sure. I'd have to draw it out and check. I'm not going to bother. But anyway, it's this. Think of it as a picture of a turkey. All right. It almost looks like a fat turkey anyway. I guess he's saying here first 4 strokes like the turkey's head and neck. Then the last few strokes are the plumage. All right. So we have soul, char, burn something, reef, gather, quasi, advance, Here we are, miscellaneous. All right, so here we have 9 tree, or in this case, baseball or Babe Ruth. No, you say Babe Ruth? Yeah, something baseball, really baseball, Babe Ruth, and then tree, and then turkeys. All right, so let's think of the story I did. We'll keep this one. All right, so I'm thinking of miscellaneous. Think of you need a miscellaneous members of a baseball team. So in this case, you need the 9 members of the baseball team. So we'll do the 9. There's Babe Ruth if you need to. And the members of the baseball team. First thing is that you need to fill out all 9, but you didn't have enough. So you're going to use, for some members in the alpha, you're going to just use the trees. So yeah, there's the trees. That's representing some members, the miscellaneous members of the baseball team. And then the rest of the remaining you're going to have are just the turkeys. So we're going to do turkey, do the first stroke there. So 9 trees, turkey. Okay, 9 trees, turkey. Let's finish it off. That's miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Various or something. Okay, next kanji. It looks complicated. It's used in some words that are not as common, or actually there are some common words that use it, like zashi or whatnot. And I don't know. Yeah, I use turkey. Turkey appears in a lot of things, so that's why it's a good visual. So if you need now here we have a semi. So here I think of like 10 turkeys lined up in the Olympics. They're about to do the semifinals of the Olympics, and they're all lined up in the water, about to do the 100-meter turkey stroke or whatnot. So this is semi. In this case, semi correspond to. So that's like a proportion to. So this is in relation to 1-to-1, quasi. I think quasi is part of it. No, it's not quasi. Correspond to, proportion, conform, imitate. Okay, so this is semi. Let's look. I usually get a feel of the flavor of this kanji with the words you get. Like junbi is preparation, setup, arrangement. There's also jun is also for some other things, but kijun, a standard, a basis, criterion. So it looks like it's proportionate confirmation. Yojun, standard, level, norm. So there's the conform and imitate. So here is semi, but usually a semi is not related to some of the words that use this kanji. So that's a Hasek thing. So that's a Hasek choice. So think of semifinals, but also it means proportion to, corresponds to, or conforms to something. All right, there's a little story. The semifinals in the water with turkeys took place in 10 lanes, 10 turkeys in a racing pool. So there's my story. Let's look at the stroke order. There's miscellaneous here, semi, water, turkey, boom, 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 boom. Then finish it off with the 10 lanes of the swimming pool. Okay, let's delete that. All right, so semi. Think of semi. I always think of semifinals. Semi, do the water, do the turkey. Let's do the turkey. So you do the water, the turkey, and then finally the 10 for the, and this is the proportionate. June, that's the June B, or preparation. Semi-prepared, or semi, proportion. All right, next kanji. So remember, semifinals. Now we have his assurance. Okay, got a quick question by hand thought. Hi Nuke, can't watch you lately because of job, but I can see I will have a lot of material to learn kanji when I have a schedule fixed up. Okay, that's good to know. So this is all yeah, again, that's the reason, great thing about these being on video. They're going to all be there for people. It also means I need to go through and start adding the timestamp, so if people can see these videos, they know to go straight. They can actually go straight to the specific video. In fact, I didn't even change the title of this. Oh, let me do that now. Let's see, maybe I'll get lucky. All right, so instead of this should be 2017, January 04. All right. Thought I did a video on the 1st, but maybe I didn't. Huh. Okay. So here's assurance. Here we have stone, and now we're going to have, looks like a turkey house. Because there was kind of like the little thing for a house, and a little thing here for the little downward stroke with turkey, and it looks like a mixture of house and turkey being merged together. So I call that the turkey house. Stone turkey house is assurance that it'll never fall down or fall apart. And you know, turkeys, they're really messy and like to break stuff. So assurance. So let's see. Firm, tight, hard, solid, to confirm something. So let's say assurance is confirmation of something. Kakunin, clear or evident. Assurance. Tashika, assured, something is going to definitely happen. Let's see. Kakute, a decision, a settlement, a definition. Kakunin, affirmation, confirmation, validation. Okay. Seikaku, second entry, accurate, punctual, exact. All right. So again, assurance. I think of assurance. Sometimes you think of mutual assurance, which is like or fidelity assurance or some type of insurance company. Assurance, insurance, something never falling apart. Let's look at the stroke order real quick. So do the stone. That's okay. Now we're going to do the first stroke of house or the crown, and instead of usually for house, I know you do the thing, but we're going to do the slash through it, and then which is going to be a mix of the house chimney along with the first stroke of turkey, or the head of the turkey. Okay, let's do this. Let's see what Isaac has to say on it real quick. So let's see, miscellaneous, feminine, there's the semi, stirred up, rob, robbery, really? Assurance, so there we go. Looks like, yeah, turkey house, or turkey coop. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so let's, first off, just show you the turkey coop. So let's do the house. So let's do the second and third stroke of house, or the crown. Do the stroke down. Then we're going to finish that off with the turkey. Oh, sorry, it goes straight through. Going to finish it off with the turkey. Boom, boom, boom. All right, and it looks a little better than that. In fact, it should look a lot better than that. All right, that's very ugly, but yeah, okay, there we go. All right, so now we want to do assurance. So this is like you want to make sure your turkey house is made out of stone. It has an assurance of never being falling apart or being pecked apart. So let's do the stone. So let's do the cliff. There's the cliff, and there's a little mouth of the cliff, which has been covered with a stone or something. You can cover with a big. Okay. We want to do the crown. So stone. There's the crown, and then let's do the first stroke. We'll do the first two strokes, then we'll finish it off there. So there goes stone. There's the crown. There's the. Then we'll just finish off with the. Alright, that's assurance. Kaku, that's the kaku of kakunin. Yeah. Assurance. Next kanji. Alright, so this is called noon, but it's going to be referenced later on to the primitive for horse. So it looks like cow. We'll go with the stroke order, but yeah, think of noon. No way to think about it. So maybe like get your horses up, wake up at noon. I guess that's one way you can do it. Noon is a good time to lay down for lay down 10. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I didn't even notice that. Noon is a good time for a 10-minute nap. So you got the lay down. Noon is a good time to lay down for a 10-minute nap. So you got lay down or recline, and then 10. And then in other kanji, you're going to think of horse. So noon is a good time for the horse to lay down for a 10-minute nap. There we go. Because maybe the sun's out. Some things it means noon, sign of the horse, the time between 11 a.m. 1 p.m., seventh sign of the Chinese zodiac. So here we go. Gozen. So this is before the, or in front of the noon is morning or a.m. Shogo. Let's see, noon or midday. Okay. Jiko sen. That's the meridian. Okay. Interesting. Let's look what stroke orders and Isaac has to say on the matter. Alright, so we're up here again, and alright, so there we go, lay down or recline, and then we do the stroke order for 10, and that becomes horse. And a little different. So if you look, 1, 2, it looks like cow, but just the body doesn't go all the way through the top. Okay, that's that. Let's see, 568. So assurance, here's noon. Yeah, could mean a horse, but a team of horses or a big Clydesdale horses or something. It could, yeah, because there's going to be a primitive for, there's going to be a kanji for horse. So this is going to be I don't know. I just think, yeah, regular horse. When I think of the other horses, I think of like a team of horses, like horses hooked up to. We're going to learn the kanji for horse, and it's going to be. I'm thinking of horses hooked up to a like a wagon. All right, so here we go. So we'll do that. Control delete. All right. So remember noon. So the horse. So at noon, the horse reclined or lay down for a 10-minute nap. Boom. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. All right, and that's also a sign of the horse or horse. It's up to you, and again, different from cow. Next kanji. To learn something. Now here we're going to learn is the things for feathers, or yeah. There's 2 ways of writing feathers. I'll show you, but all right. So this is learn. So feathers and white. There's Anissa's Harry Potter story for that one. So narao is a word for learn. Let's see, shutoku, which is 3rd entry, learning, acquisition. Shukan, custom, habit, manners, to get used to something. Shukan. Then shu, practice, to practice something, get better at something. All right. So what we want to do? Think about an old school Hogwarts, in this where children are learning. So you see the little feathers, little white feathers that are flowing back and forth in writing down something. So that's how they're learning something. So right there. So yeah, that's how you can envision this little white feathers in the process. White feathers in the process of learning. Learning by writing out something with white feathers. Boom, boom, boom. So feather, feather, white feathers. Isaac, what he has to do with it? All right, so we have 574. So here's the stroke word. So he's going to be kind of like the left side of or the right side of hood. You kind of see as that kind of hooks in. So hook in and ice, boom boom, hook in, ice. So in this case, feathers, boom boom, boom boom. Yep, boom. So two little ice strokes. You can mean it's like the edges of feather. Do if you kind of look at it, it looks like little icicles forming. But in this case, yeah. And then we're going to do with the kanji for white. Okay, and I'm losing my voice. There we go. And that happens. All right, so let's see. So we go from noon. Permit. Pegasus. So there's, I don't think I have to worry about that, but that's where you have horse and turkey, so Pegasus makes sense. Horse with the wings of a turkey. There we go. Authority, outlook. Okay, here we are. Let's do feathers. And then from there, we're going to go to learn. Okay, so let's do this in 3 parts. First thing is one teaches feathers. All right, so what I want you to do is think of do the right side. Then I want you to do icicle. 1, 2. Then we're going to repeat it again. Right side. Then we're going to do that one more time. And then icicle. Oh, sorry, go back. Right side. Right side. Now this is feathers. Feathers, right here. What you like you're seeing it with there is used on top of learn. It's feathers and white. Now, this, if you see it in a different way, you're going to see this. It's going to look like think of the yo, the kanji for yo, or the katakana for yo, which is written kind of like this again, just as a reminder. Right. And we're going to see this replicated and sometimes used in, so what we're going to do is yo, yo and yo together. But again, don't think of yo-yo. In this one, think of feathers again. But just think of like peacock plume. Think of the peacock plume of feathers. So like the tail of a peacock. So if that helps, let's think of the tail of the peacock. Or feathers. You can use feathers or tail of a peacock if you want to keep the 2 separate. So this is bird feathers. This could be peacock feathers if you want to keep the 2 separate. So yeah, bird feathers, peacock feathers. In fact, if you know Haneda, this is the Hane of Haneda. Haneda is a location of an airport in Japan, a major airport in Tokyo, Japan. Alright. Now, let's do learn. So, when we have, remember the Harry Potter story, we're going to do the feathers. There's feathers. Oh, sorry. Do the little hook if you need to, with the little ice in it. Feather with the little ice in it. And then we do feathers. Feathers, and then we're going to do white. So the white feathers. So there's Harry Potter, white feathers learning. There we go. Learn. Next kanji. And so let's see. No. Yeah. And there for white, sometimes you use white doves. So it's feathers of the white doves that get plucked and then made into quills for people to learn to write. Sure. Now this is a fun kanji to learn. Weekday. So here we have his sun, the peacock feathers, or the peacock tip feathers, and then also turkey, which the whole thing becomes peacock. So yeah, and I always think of like peacock is the NBC network had the symbol as its logo for its network is NBC is a network in the U.S., television network in the U.S., a national broadcasting channel or something. Anyway, so imagine like the days, so sun is like days of the week, and then these are the peacock channels. So this is like from Sunday through Saturday. You knew it based on what show was on NBC. You knew what day of the week it was. So this is weekday. So you care about weekdays, days of the week. Weekday. Words that use it. Yobi. So this is where you'll find out like all those days of the week I mentioned before with the the symbols, sun, dirt, fire, water. All right, you end it with this, the yobi, that becomes day of the week. Yobi. Let's see, Shichiyo, the 7 luminaries: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus. Looks like 7 planets, luminary planets in the sky. 7 days of the week. Shichiyo, I did not know that. Shicho. Shicho omote. What is this? I have no idea. So it looks like this one. This had should have been yobi. Should have been yo. Shichiyo. Should have been Shichiyo something. And then let's see. Nicho is Sunday. All right, Nicho Sunday, or Nichiyobi. Nicho. All right, let's look at the stroke order real quick. Fairly simple. There's sun. There's the yo-yo, or the peacock feathers, and then there's the turkey. And then the peacock feathers together with turkey we're going to call is peacock. Peacock. Or that's my version, because you'll see this in other kanji as well. Alright, so we have learn, the following, don't worry. Here we have weekday, day, feathers, peak, turkey. Here we go. Alright, let's do this. Okay. Control delete. Alright, so days of the week. And this thing of days, or weekday, day, and peacock. So we did sun, there's the sun for the weekday. And then again, I just think of peacock, and so we do the feathers of the peacock. Day, feathers of the peacock. Then finish off with the turkey. Alright, and again, this right here, when you see it, I don't think it appears in too many things, but when I do see it, this right here, this is peacock. Alright, and again, just real quick, so if you do like Nietzsche, well, let me go back here. Yeah, I'm not doing this in Nietzsche, yo, oh sorry, Nietzsche yobi, that's Sunday. Then we have this, take that and put a getsu, that's Monday, take that off, put a fire, that's ka yobi, that's Tuesday, take that off, do water. Now it becomes sui yobi, then you can take that off, put a tree, now it becomes moki yobi, take that, put a gold, now it becomes kin yobi for Friday, then you get bored of that, put the dirt, now it's becomes do yobi for Saturday. Alright, you don't have to memorize that, but it's just, again, yobi. That's why in, I guess kanji, because it's used so often, it's taught early, even though it's a very complicated kanji unless you know it by either its parts. But if you just learned it by stroke order, like the first time I tried to learn it was by stroke order, yeah, it was very easy to forget how to write it. Okay. Yeah, so let's go on to the next thing. Alright. Country. This is a new, let's see, we're going to learn 2 things. We're going to learn, let's see, we already learned jewel, king and drop with a jewel, and inside is a, what's called a pent in, or something surrounding it, something that's been surrounded by a fence or something, pent in. Country. Alrighty, so let's go and talk about that. So this is country, jewel, pent in jewel, so there's Kuni. So this is yeah, country or the state region. You know, let's see. You might also see as koku, kokusai, international. Koka, state, country, or nation. And then we have as gaikoku, or it's foreign. So we also have kokunai, which is domestic. Gaikoku. Alrighty. Alright, in England, the crown jewels are kept pent in the Tower of London, which happens to be where the enemies of the state were once also pent in. So there you go. So pent in the jewels to represent the country. You also pin in the criminals to keep the control. Alright. Let's look at the stroke order on this. Alright, so we're going to learn pent in. So first two you're going to do for always pent in or something when you're surrounding something with a mouth. So it is like the kanji for mouth. But you're going to do the first two strokes of mouth, and then you're going to do the first two strokes of mouth, and you're going to finish off with the, you're going to do the stroke orders for the jewel, which is king and the drop of the king's scepter, which it becomes a jewel, and then finish it off. That would be the pent in. And let's look at what Isaac has to say. 581. Let's see. First thing he's going to teach is pent in, and then goes into country. So let's do pent in real quick. Delete this. Alright, so do pent in. First thing is you're going to think of mouth. So do the first stroke, then do the second stroke, and then do some junk in here, which relates to the whatever the kanji is. Then finish it off. So you have the junk and then you finish it off. That's pent in. So it's always the first two strokes, do something inside, then close it off. Pin in whatever it is you're doing. Alright, now we're going to do is country. So we're going to take the two strokes here. Now what we're going to do is jewels. Now first thing we do is do the king. 1, 2, 3. Do the king. And then do the little drop, which represents the. So remember, this becomes the king. Also, is like the king's scepter. And then this little drop means the little jewel on the top of the king's scepter. All right. King's scepter, and finish off. Now you're pent in. So this is country. So this is the Japanese version of the kanji for country. The one for in China is there's an original form of it, which we'll cover later. Probably much later. It won't be in this lesson or the second lesson, I'm sure. Alrighty, so that's pent in. Next kanji. I'm sorry, that's country. Country. That's not the country. That's country as in the nation state. Country, nation. Next kanji. Cause. So now we have is pent in and big, or in this case, a big dog. So maybe pin in the dog because or cause it bit somebody. Because of the trouble of something it caused. Stop him from breaking in more laws. Once had a dog with big paws. Oh, what a great trouble he caused. We built a big pen to keep him penned in. Stop him from breaking more laws. Okay, so it's a limerick. That's cute. That's cute. I wouldn't have thought of it. Alright, so cause. This could be the factor to be associated with something, to depend on something, be limited. So what is the cause of? Let's see. There's yoru, ni yoruto, because of something. Inka. Let's see. Second entry. Cause and effect. Karma. Fate. Gain. The cause. The origin. The source of something. First entry. Yoin. The main cause. The primary factor. Alright, cool. Alright, let's draw it. It's fairly simple, but we'll do the same thing. So there's the pent in. There's the big dog. Let's finally pin in the big dog because, again, it's dangerous or something. Or it's grown too big. Let's see, what do we have? So we have pent in, saith, quandary, harden, country, group. Here we are. Cause, St. Bernard's dog, pent in. Let's draw it. Control delete. Alright, so remember, you got a big dog pent in. You have pin in the big dog. Let's do the first two strokes. Okay, do the big dog. Big dog, because is the cause. Okay. What is the cause of or what is the cause or reason for that big dog being pent in? You know, did it attack something? Did it keep walking around or something? It's like there's a reason or something. Cause. Next kanji. Alright, now we have is, what we're going to learn is a little bit of Dirt, what they call the milestone marker. Remember the crock pot with the scarf? And then it's pent in. So there, maybe think of the milestone markers are on the four corners of the park to show the pent in, or the area of the park, which is a very large park. N. Let's see what we got. So yeah, this can mean a park, a garden, a yard, or a farm. Let's see, sono, garden, orchid, park. Okay. Enge, horticulture, gardening. Koen, that's a park, a public park. Usually, like, yeah, koen is a very good word. Rakuen, that's a pleasure paradise, or paradise. So rakuen, it could mean reference to heaven as well. Pleasure garden. Okay. Park, garden, yard. There we got the mile markers, what I said. Then enclosed, pent up. Kanji for park. Yeah, so think of it like a Central Park, I guess is a good one, because it's like got four corners. It's fairly rectangular or square. Well, fairly rectangular. Let's look at the stroke order real quick. Alright, so first thing you do, the first three of pent in, do the dirt, do the mouth, that's the lidded crock pot. Put a scarf on it, so now it becomes a milestone marker, and then close off the park. Let's see, you have Akagami saying hi everyone. Hello Akagami. Alright, so let's let's see what Isaac has to say on the matter. So that's 585. So we have, let's see, cause, matrimony, park. Yep, nothing new there. Let's draw it. Yeah. Okay. That's water. Mizu. Mizu. Ocha. Alright, so let's do pent in. First two strokes of pent in. Let's do the lidded crock. So we do the dirt. Mouth. So now it's the lidded crock. And you kind of have to make this a little smaller just to kind of stretch out a little bit. But then let's do the scarf. And then finally, let's close it off. So there's the dirt. There's the mouth. Lidded crock pot, there's the scarf. Now it's a milestone marker. Finish it off. There you have garden. It looks kind of complicated, but it's not. And again, you're going to see this the milestone marker used in a few things. So that's actually good that it pops up now and again. Garden. Or I'm sorry, park. Yeah, park. Okay, next kanji. Times. Now this means off times, time and again. Round. It also could also mean round or revolved. So this is. Tell you what. Let me do that. Okay, we won't do it. So it could mean revolve and also counter for occurrences. So this is mawasu mawaru. Now you already saw that the previous one for circumference was also, and there's also another one for revolve. But in this case, we're just going to do time. So this looks like a circle within a circle. So think of a wheel of a car that revolves. So you got the little circle, maybe and it turns at a speed, and it turns the bigger wheel on the outside. You know, who knows? Kaito. Let's see. Kaito, reply and answer. Okay. Tenkai, second. So there it is, revolution, rotation. So is it revolve in times? Revolution, rotation. Jikai, next time, the next occasion. Eko, Buddhist, the memorial service. Prayers for repose of the soul. Alright, there we go. Let's draw it. Or let's look at what Isaac has to say. So there is, yeah, it's a mouth within a mouth, or pent in. So here's the stroke order. So think of a wheel within a wheel. Think of times or off times or sometimes. Like just think of a revolving wheel within a wheel. So let's do the first two strokes of pent in. Then inside we're going to draw a smaller mouth. So a mouth within a mouth if you need to. Pent in, and then finish off. That's times. Dash times. Sometimes. Off times. Many times. Sometimes. Okay, times. Okay, next kanji. Okay, store. So here we have is we're going to learn is cave And inside we're doing fortune teller. I think we've already introduced cave, but if not, we'll do that now. But anyway, store. So it's like a fortune teller inside a cave. Fortune teller inside a cave is the first story. Like, come into my store. Like, here's a you actually go there to get your fortune read, but instead she tries to sell you stuff. So she became the very first type of store. You know, sell you all the stuff to make your fortune better. All right, so do cave and okay. So here we have is mise, which is again store, a shop, establishment. Tenpo, a shop or a store. Kaiten, second entry, opening, shop of the day, opening of the day. Honten, the first entry, the head office, the source of the store. All right, fortune teller applies her, I misspelled applies, her trade and sells her wares from a cave, thus starting the world's first store. Okay, let's do the stroke order real quick. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so it's different, so it's sort of like cliff, but we're going to do house or the crown or hat. So it's the one for cave, so hat, almost like hat or whatnot, or a chimney on a cliff, which can represent the cave. And then right here, boom, boom, Harry Potter mouth, which is the fortune teller. So let's look what Isaac has to say. 588. Alright, so let's do, we'll teach cave, and then we'll go and bring up store. Okay, so let's bring cave first. Okay, so first thing is we already know cliff. So we do the line, and that becomes a cliff. Alright, now what we want to do is cave, which is related to cliff. So we want to do, imagine a cave is someplace you're living. So if you're going to live in there, you're going to have a fire. So you need to make sure the fire smoke can leave. So you're going to have a chimney leaving the cave. So that's the chimney leaving the cave. You're going to do the top of the cliff, which is you know, the roof of your cave. Now all of a sudden you need the side of the cliff, which is your walls of your cave. And that's cave. And then junk's going to happen in here. Alright, so that's the stroke order for cave. Now, what we're going to do is make a store, which is inside the cave. So we got the cave. I tell you what, let me just do the stroke by stroke. Inside the cave, there's the fortune teller. So who is the fortune teller? Is the Harry Potter fortune teller, which is the Harry Potter in the mouth, or the lady I think in the I forget her name from that book, from which book it was. I think it was the third book, where she first appeared, where, you know, she was basically telling people how to do fortune telling, and she wasn't actually a really good teacher, but she did, you know, on 2 occasions actually gave a fortune that was for real, which is apparently twice as better, you know, 2 times more than the average wizard. Okay, so there we go. So this is store. This is mise, store. Next kanji. Okay. Okay, good. Heart. So this is like the main heart and 3 valves. I know there's probably like 4 valves of a heart, but we'll think 3 valves of a kanji heart. Or maybe these are all 4 valves, 4 strokes, 4 valves of a heart, with the major aorta being that center one. So this now. Kokoro. So this normally means heart, as in the heart of the body, but it could also mean the mind and the spirit. You know, so sometimes like your heart's not into it, your mind's not into it, your spirit's not into it, type thing. So it doesn't, and also could mean it could be referring to mind or brain. All right. So words that use this: kokoro, mind, heart, spirit. The meaning of the phrase. Shin, first entry. Mind and body. It could also mean second entry, mind. Kanshin, admiration, well done. It could also mean second entry, concern or interest. And it looks like there's a few other entries. Deplorable, alarming, this 6th entry, favor or flavor. Favor. Then we have is Chushin. Looks like someone just corrected my little Harry Potter story. Sybil Trelawney. Okay. That's her name, sure, for the fortune teller in Harry Potter. Chushin, the center, middle of something. Yeah. Alright, so let's, the 3 strokes, for these could be the state of mind. Alright, and then we're going to learn some of the there's one, then we're going to learn a couple of the primitives. So we'll get into that. Here's the immediate stroke order. 1, long stroke, 3, 4. And it's not necessarily, it doesn't look like a club foot, it looks more like the curve of like a child or inside of the wind. Boom, boom, boom. Here's what Isaac has to say on the matter. So 595. So anyway, so here we have his cave. Store, storehouse, courtyard, government office, bed, hemp, marijuana, rind. Alright, here we have his heart. Now we're going to learn two things. We're going to learn whether it's on the side and whether it's on the bottom. Okay, so let's do heart. Okay, so we're going to learn. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so let's do the first stroke. So it's like a little drop, and then do this long stroke here with the little hook. Normally it's with the little hook. One at the top, fall in the same direction. Finally, alright, and this all together becomes heart. And think of the like the 4 valves of the heart with one major aorta. Second one is the major aorta. Boom. Now you're going to see this in 2 other primitive. Like if it's off to the side, it's going to look like this. Okay, and I probably drew that wrong. Let me make sure I got the stroke order correct. Does it mention that? Part of me is thinking, let me see if I can find something that uses that. I'm not seeing it. There it is, 618. Let me cheat real quick. Okay, I was doing it right. So 2 outer strokes, then the center stroke. Okay, make sure I wasn't leading you wrong. Okay. Alright, so when it's this right here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, when it's to the side here, it's the heart primitive, but what you think of is the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz, because he had the little heart. This is like the heart amulet, or heart-shaped amulet. Some other people use like some other type of robot, C-3PO or Bender or whatnot. I just think that the heart-shaped amulet, which is what the Tin Man got in the Wizard of Oz, made the most sense for this. So, heart-shaped amulet, Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Also, you're going to see it at the bottom. 1, 2, kind of like, it's not necessarily going to look like fire, which this is fire. But you want to make it so that second stroke is going to look really pronounced. So when it's at the bottom here, I want you to think of Valentine, like a Valentine card. Or if you want to do really gross, then My Bloody Valentine. But yeah, Valentine. So admirate. So Valentine card. This is the actual heart. You know, think of the heart shape if you want to. This is the Tin Man with the heart-shaped medallion. Okay. So that's what kind of like Isaac was bringing up. Here. So yeah, so this is like it appears beneath or right of its. Okay, so to the left, that's the 3 strokes, and state of mind, what he calls state of mind, but I'm just going to call the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, and at the bottom it's the. Oh, okay. So let's see. Let's look at what forget is. Let's see if we see this. Yeah, you can kind of see it's. There are some other ways of doing this. Huh. We're going to keep it like that. We're going to worry about that. Okay. So that's heart. And 2 more to go after this and we're done with the lesson. Alright, so that was heart. Whew. Next up. Forget. 大丈夫? Alright, so this is forget. So this is perished. Not die, but perished or to pass away. And heart. And forget. Okay, so this means, yeah, don't remember something. Wasureru. To forget something. Some other words that use this kanji. Hokyaku. Let's see. Okay, we'll show that. Hokyaku. Lapse or forgetfulness. Okay. Oh, Bokyaku. Okay. Bonenkai. That's the year-end party. So this is like before the New Year's. This is where a company or friends or whatnot will have a big party together, and they'll call that the Bonenkai, which is forgetting the year party. Biyo. Reminder. Okay, cool. Here's a little story real quick. Well, if the heart never forgets, then the only heart that forgets is a deceased heart. For easier picture, you can go with a zombie looking for his heart as he forgets where he left it. Okay, there you go. Let's see the stroke order. Alright. Here we go is the cap, hat, with the little hook there, so that becomes perished. That's the hat laying on the hook, and then the heart. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's see what Isaac has to say on the matter. So this was 596. Yeah, it says the next one here. So perish and heart. Alright, so let's do perished. So that's the top hat. Then we have the hook. Oh, I'm sorry, let's do the top hat. Then we got the little top hat on a hook, which is a sign that someone has passed away. And then we want to do the heart. Let's do it in part. We'll do it in 2 parts. There. Alright, that's to forget. Or maybe your heart, you forget that someone has passed away, so you remember them in your heart, or you forget, maybe you forget someone when they do pass away, they finally perish your heart. That's when you truly have forgotten somebody, if you want to go a more poetic way of remembering the story. Alright, next kanji. Last kanji for this lesson. Alright. Then we're going to do is acknowledge. Now, I'm going to have to teach you ninja, because we got a blade with a drop of a blade. So we're going to have to teach you a couple things. This is going to become... let's see. Akagami has a question. Nuke, is there anyone around you? I'm hearing a couple people speak. Yeah, that's my mother-in-law and my wife are talking to each other in Japanese. Yes. They're talking Japanese because it doesn't interfere with me speaking in English. Okay. No, it's okay. It's just... No, I'm saying people could hear it, but it was explaining to them that they were asking, like, who was talking. No, it's okay. As long as they can hear me, that's fine, That's why I have the TV playing. Well,
so this is regular, natural life.
Right. People appreciate that, too. Alright, the wife is trying to apologize. I'm trying to say it doesn't really matter. I mean, if it was, like, really bothering the lesson, I would... maybe move it to another location. But again, this is the last lesson for the evening, and this is the last kanji for the lesson. So we're about to finish this up and then go for dinner. Okay, so this is acknowledge. So this is going to be, you already see the primitive for speaking. You got the primitive for heart, and then there's got a blade with or a dagger, and then a little drop. So we're going to call that a blade. Yeah. So here we have acknowledge, to witness something, to discern, to recognize, appreciate, believe. Okay, so here we have mitomeru, to acknowledge, do you acknowledge someone's your boyfriend or girlfriend, or is your friend, or is acknowledge them as a position. Mitomeru. Ninshiki. God, I hate when it does that. Ninshiki, recognize. Cognizance. Shonin. So you can tell it's nin is being repeated a lot. Third entry. Recognition, acknowledgement, approval, consent. Hinin, this is the first entry. Denial, negation, repudiation. So that's the, because of that first one. Alright. So here's the, if it helps, that first, the second right side of it is the kanji for ninja. So I'll tell you. So you can say for a knowledge, a ninja never acknowledges, he never speaks into the microphone that he's a ninja, if you want to. Or you could be a person who has a blade pointed to his heart. He still won't acknowledge under torture. He still won't acknowledge or confess into the microphone any crimes, and he endures the pain. So this is also endurance. Okay, so we're going to show you this in 3 parts and then call it a day. Here we go. First thing is a stroke order, real quick. So do the strokes for speaking, whichever cell phone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the blade or do the saber, and then put the little stroke there. That becomes dagger. Basically, a little drop of a saber becomes a dagger. And then we have his heart. So imagine a dagger to the heart, which is to endure something. All right. Okay. So here we have. Endure, long-suffering, or patience. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this in parts. first thing is blade. So for blade, we need to think of his saber. Right there. So we got saber. So for blade, we do saber, and a little drop there. Now it becomes, that's blade. Blade. Now we want to do endure. And this is what, usually what people think of as this is the nin of ninja. So we do the little blade, and do it over somebody's heart. Alright. So if you've ever seen this, in fact, I'll do it just because it's fun. So here's the nin of ninja, and then we're going to do the sha of ninja. This is ninja. Okay, that's if you ever heard of like Heart Under Blade, the movie called Heart Under Blade. That's because there's a heart, there's a blade or dagger of ninja. So that's the nin of ninja. Okay, good. Now that that's out of the way, let's do acknowledge, mitomeru. Okay, to acknowledge something, you have to step up to the microphone. So the person needs to acknowledge that he's a ninja. So he steps up. So they put the microphone to his face. Here's the microphone. And they got the little blade to the blade above him, torturing him, making him endure the pain of the cuts of a thousand cuts of the blade. And the blade's finally reaching to his heart, but he still endures, and he won't admit that he's a ninja. So he said, "Speak, blade, heart. Speak, blade, heart. Acknowledge, mitomeru." Okay, and that will do it. That should be the last thing for here. Let's go through here. Now let's see, how long was this? Okay, so this was a 50-minute lesson. Yeah, so it's not necessarily hours, so that was good. And yeah, that wasn't as long as the previous one, so that was good. Alright, so this is lesson 14. We covered 15 more kanji. Yeah, still got 30, there's 37 total lessons, so we still got, let's see, 23 more to go to finish up. And that's going to take some time, but hopefully if I'm doing 2 or 3 a day, I'm probably just going to do, we'll see how I feel. Whether if I can get 2 or 3 a day, 2 or 3 done a day, then that's kind of cool. And especially if my reviews start getting less and less, then I'll probably try to do more of these. Just to try to get them out of the way, because this is something I was planning to do anyway. And it was ever since I started doing these lessons, when I started doing reviews and I started learning new stuff, and I realized, oh cool, I can use these as videos for teaching people. And ever since I always wanted to go back and do these, now that I am in the process, I'm just going to go full force into it, just worry about making these videos and hold my review learning of new stuff off till this part is done, and that's fine. Alright, thank you for joining me. Let's see, we had up to 4 people watching, listening. Okay, again, the other people we heard was my mother-in-law and my wife were speaking. They were speaking in the background. Whatnot. They got to get ready for dinner, and I should be back tomorrow. Hopefully, get a couple more lessons done, finished off. Again, if you are watching this, if you did enjoy the video, please consider liking it. Consider subscribing if you keep coming back to these videos. Again, if you find this useful, and if you've learned something from this video, you know, consider sharing it with others. Yeah. So I didn't see the actual full stream, and then also this portion of it, which is 50 minutes of the lecture stream. And we will see you tomorrow. And if you have, by the way, feel free to make any questions or comments in the YouTube comments if you're watching it sometime in the future. All right, bye.